Okay, Charmaigne, you and I connected because we're Filipino sisters, right?
From another mother, yeah.
From another mother.
And you just met my aunt?
I did. She was so cute.
So now you have a new tita.
I know. So tell me, how did your Filipino heritage inspire who you are today?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, you're starting with a big one, huh? I think it just comes out naturally. It's something that's very innate, right? So in all my designs, it's important to me all natural materials, responsibly sourced. Fair trade is big. Fair trade, fair pay, especially artisan work, right? And if something comes from halfway around the world, sustainable logistics is big. Because, not everything could look tropical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the design world, even if it doesn't look tropical, it doesn't look something that comes from the Philippines or Southeast Asia, but just through those practices, we can support, and that little piece in me comes out.
Yeah, you can bring that cultural heritage through some of those touches.
Exactly. But if I can design spaces that look and feel very tropical, even better.
Even better. Bonus. I know. I live in Florida. I'm the same. I'm like, where's all the palm trees?
Yes. It is calming, right? It's biophilia.
It is. Well, talk to me about your Filipino heritage and then the healthcare component, because we talked a lot about how you were expected to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But in your own roundabout way, now you're in healthcare, and that's a special story.
See, I didn't even consider that as part of this crazy, giant full circle moment. And it occurred to me that I had done that full circle moment, from high school all the way to now, when I explained to my aunt, "Oh, you do healthcare design now?" So I was like, "Yeah." So, clinics, urgent cares, hospitals, maybe aid in some ED expansion. And then all of a sudden they started to get it. Like they were engaged in the conversation. So then we were laughing because I was like, "Oh, so, all the work I did for U.S. embassies, courthouses, nonprofit offices, that didn't matter."
Didn't matter.
But now all of a sudden I do healthcare design and all of a sudden they understand. So I love my healthcare family, right? My healthcare titos and titas, aunties and uncles. But it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
No, my heart wanted to do something else. While I was acing biology, like I was telling you, I was also drawing, I was painting, I was crafting, and that's what I wanted to hone. And my father, actually, when I was in high school, my father had a friend. I think he was a civil engineer.
Okay.
And then my father told him, "My daughter draws." And he said, "Oh, yeah, let me see." So then one day I just brought the drawings.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, you can be an architect." And I was like, "What's that?"
What's an architect?
It's an architect. So he explained it, and then he encouraged my dad to encourage me. And so throughout high school, that was really kind of the path.
Wow.
Or an unofficial, unspoken path. But my mom's been a nurse forever, right? My gosh, she taught me first aid response at middle school.
Oh my gosh.
If anybody needed first aid,
Right.
at the Charms could handle it.
But now in a roundabout way, you are creating those healing spaces that they wanted you to do in the start.
Exactly. And then I have an aunt in the Philippines. She was asking me what would be really good design for an OBGYN clinic, and we exchanged some messages. And so it's fun now. The conversations, there's a mix of design and healthcare in the sense that they are end users, they are staff. Mm-hmm. And that also gives me ideas that we may or may not hear from a work meeting in the office.
Of how to better utilize space and make it more functional and useful for the caregivers.
And their personal experience of how things go down sometimes in an ED.
I believe it. You can
Right.
take all that into your work.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, the dinner table conversations were really getting filed at the back of my mind as, oh, what to do, what not to do, sharp corners, visibility, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's-
we like to say
amazing.
conversations are our research, and that's exactly what you're doing too. Is
Conversation
using
is
those relatives and having conversations which matter to what you're actually doing.
it's only been a few years, and I kind of still have to be like, that's crazy.
So you've only been doing healthcare for a few years.
I've only been doing healthcare for a few years. I did workplace for a decade, and then COVID happened. And I really just had to step back and figure out, okay, what is the path forward? And healthcare design was the path forward for me.
That was it.
Yeah.
Well, we also talked a lot about neurodiversity. What does that mean to you in how you design, and how does it change how you design?
Maria, you're incredible. Because, there's the Filipino culture expectation layer component, right? And then my family expectation layer component.
Which I think it isn't even necessarily only Filipino. I think a lot of people feel pressure to be the doctors and the nurses
Right, or
and the
it could-
out-of-box
it could-
things.
Yes, to the neurodiversity and the neuro-inclusion, that is the top layer. That is my multi-layer cake, so to speak, because my sister's autistic and I'm the eldest of 5, or I was raised the eldest of 5. In our younger years, in my teens and in my 20s, I really helped take care of my sister, and she's low-functioning, nonverbal, autistic. But I say nonverbal, but she is highly communicative. And she is very opinionated.
Love that.
Especially in fashion.
Love that.
Ask me how I know. But that really, so again, like you said, conversation is research.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm going to start quoting you on that. Because just through the years and observation is research too.
Yes.
Not everybody realizes that when you continuously observe something or someone, that's data that gets filed in our minds.
Yeah.
But just observing her, and when I was a kid and she was a baby, what else? What can I do? The only thing I could do was be kind to her. If she needed something, I try to figure out what she needed, right? And again, no words, right? But another thing, so here's another observation I made was, if you sing what you want her to do, she will do it.
Wow.
So when she was a kid, I would be like, in sing-song form, time to wash your hands, it's time to eat, it's bedtime. But in song form,
That is fascinating. So the music, she had
I
a
think
better.
so.
She was more able to process
I
what you're
think-
doing
isn't
and
that so
respond to
cool?
it. That is cool.
yeah, I feel like I need to talk to somebody about that.
That's similar to children, though, because very young children are more responsive to music. And so that's
This is
why you
true.
play music when they're sleeping, even the songs that they're hearing on,
Right,
whatever
clean up,
annoying.
clean
Yes,
up. You're so
exactly.
right. You're
so
so
maybe
right.
it's that same concept of how our brain responds
Yeah.
and functions.
Yeah. So that's my experience with neurodiversity. And I really wanted to channel that into inclusion,
Yeah.
right? And she was my inspiration for my capstone project in college.
Awesome. Which was what?
It was a hospitality hybrid healthcare thing that I did.
Yeah? Tell us
Me
about it.
always coloring outside the lines, I tell you. But it was essentially a respite hotel for children with disabilities. And it was really just me trying to put into architectural and interiors kind of language how to just give respite to children with disabilities.
Yeah.
For example, when my family traveled, right, and maybe places just weren't conducive for her, or restaurants also were either too loud or too busy or stuff like that. So the whole goal for the respite hotel for children with disabilities was that they could come in, they will be watched by professionals, right? Who know how to respond and who understands. It's not a tantrum.
Yeah.
Right? Because so quick to just be like, oh, someone's throwing a temper tantrum.
But it means they need something.
Exactly. And this could be that space where they can stay, let's say, for a weekend or whatnot. But the other component to that is when they're at this place, their caregivers can also get respite.
Yeah.
Their caregivers can also, I don't know, go to the spa, sit in the house,
So important.
take a quiet shower, go out, have a restaurant, have a date, whatever. So that was the 2-part component, and so that's the neuro inclusion, neurodiversity experience that I have that I definitely look forward to exploring some more.
I love that. So do you feel like your sibling being neurodivergent, is that part of what brought you into the healthcare field?
I was definitely inspired by trying to figure out how to get behavioral health, the trifecta of behavioral health, mental health, and neurodiversity. How can we design better in those areas?
Yeah.
Make it less feel institutional per se, or whitewashed.
Yeah.
Or gray.
Yeah, great wash. Well, you often think about lighting and noise, acoustics. Are there other things that aren't so immediately recognizable and talked about that can make a big difference in those spaces?
So lighting, acoustics, yes, absolutely. Space planning. Space planning, I think, is big because, for example, if you take a restaurant, right, and it's just all open tables and seating. So if you take my sister, like I said, she might be nonverbal, but she is highly opinionated. She can pick where she would like to be seated or get settled. Usually that's not somewhere in the middle. So we would go towards the back, towards the corner, because usually those were the spaces that were quieter.
Yeah.
Right? And less in the way. So space planning, I think, is great. Furniture or furnishing selection is great. But we always have to start with, is this a kind approach to the neurodiverse people?
Right. Well, so much of that is about choice. And it's choice of how to interact with the space, choice of where to go, how much light, how much noise.
Yeah.
And empowering people through choice is what I kind of heard you say. But it's
That's
really,
a great point.
Everyone needs something different. So you have to design in so many different ways to give people what they need.
Yeah. And it's also fun.
Yeah.
This is what my notes are for.
This is what your notepad is for? Get out your pen. I mean, it doesn't sound profound, but it's those little things that make all the difference.
I think so. And you know what? That's also, like, at least for me personally, that's how I keep going back to a place.
Yeah.
Is if I know I have a choice
That's a
to
good point.
sit, or maybe some days I just don't want to be on my laptop and I want a quiet corner, then I can do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you also brought up inclusive design too, and empathy. We talk about a lot about empathy in the workplace, which is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. But I think there's a next level of empathy that you have experienced the thing. You've experienced, your sister going through her neurodivergence. Growing up. Yes. And that probably shapes how you design today.
Absolutely. Yeah. My sister and also her caregivers, right? Because I got the privilege to observe like how is going to the store with her, with my brother, or how is going to a hibachi restaurant with her, with my parents. So and again, I say observation is an amazing scientific tool. And you just observe her, you observe her caregivers, and then you observe the people around them. And it becomes a very interesting scenario. And I think we are so powerful as people who shape spaces.
Yes.
That we can really do something about that. And the effects are indirect, so sometimes people don't realize it. But yeah, like I said, how you orient tables and chairs sometimes.
Yeah.
Or where you face
Yes.
right? Like, this is a great corner.
It's a great spot. But I think in the day-to-day, it can be easy to forget that we're in the business of placemaking and people making, comfortable spaces. But I love that you brought us back to kind of the purpose of designing for everyone, designing for those with varying abilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thank
fun.
you.
What other defining moments in your career do you feel like have made you who you are?
As early as in your college days, really just exposing the kids to there's more than just workplace design. There's more than just being a space planner, a designer, a drafter. Our industry is so huge.
Yes.
We don't often talk about how many avenues there are. I've always said that when I grow old and retire, I want to flip through my portfolio and say, oh yeah, we did that, and then we did that. Diversity.
Yes.
Spice is life.
Well,
right?
designers take so much pride in their work, and to have the breadth of experience that you have, but then also to have found your niche in healthcare, something you care about so deeply, that's special.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Also with each other as designers, architects, just working together. Deadlines after deadlines after deadlines, and VE packages. And we just also have to remember to be kind to ourselves,
Yes.
to each other. And then I think that really also translates to how we do our work.
Yeah. Well, you're also a maker and creator, too.
Yes.
Okay, now she's excited.
Clearly, I might have another chapter in my career if this is the case.
Okay, tell
I
us
brought
about it.
you something.
Oh my gosh, stop.
And I'm so silly. I didn't even package it as much as I should have. I need to work on my branding.
So you have your own jewelry company.
I do. Well, I guess I could call it a company, huh?
You make your own jewelry. Period.
I do. I brought you a
Oh
seashell
my
garland.
gosh. The cutest
I hope you don't
seashell
mind.
garland. I love it.
it's,
I'm wearing a seashell right now, so it's very fitting.
I know.
You're so sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And guess where the seashells are from?
Tell me.
The Philippines.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Intention, right?
Oh my gosh.
We have to be
Okay,
intentional.
So I talked to my team about how it's so important that we know our clients and that we create experiences, no matter how big or how small, to make people feel like you care. Yeah. And this is perfect. I love it. Thank you.
I hope you like it. I
It's
hope
so special.
There's a nook or a spot in your home waiting for it.
Thank you.
So yes, Prax and Dimen. So Prax was my grandfather. He was a carpenter. I joke that I know section details make sense to me because I watched him make furniture. So I learned about dovetails before 6th grade and stuff like that. But this is a little homage to him. He died young. I feel like he died when I was maybe 13. And I don't know why this happened. But a few years ago, I just felt like I want to be reconnected with him. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And to fight depression through going through COVID, I just found myself making for jewelry.
Yeah.
Just working with your hands.
That was your outlet.
Yeah, and I would just keep making them. And then a year later, there was so many. And then I kept going. And then they got bigger. And now I'm on to garlands.
So this is your creative outlet.
I guess. Huh.
Even though you're a designer, you like to get your hands dirty.
Yes.
And make things.
Yes. Speaking of getting my hands dirty, I forage the fields for 4-leaf clovers.
Okay.
Yes. And I would take them and I would dry them and I would put them into resin and I call them like nature art. Because I had a neighbor and he said, I've never seen a 4-leaf clover. I ran to my condo and I literally just grabbed a bunch and gave him one. And he was like, how do you have so many of this? And I said, you just have to look down. But then But then you also actually have to stay in that spot and look and find it In 15 minutes, I promise you'll find it.
I feel like that's a metaphor for life. Like you got to slow down and look
Stay
closely,
still on
stay
that
still,
spot.
Wait for the details, and the good stuff will find you, right?
Yes. And then I said, oh my gosh, how many other people out there have never had a 4-leaf clover? Let's give everybody
Give everyone your resin Lucky Charms. I love
mean,
that.
It's in the name, so
That's
we
right.
have
Charm.
to. Yeah.
How
yeah.
does being a maker make you a better designer in your job?
That's a great question. At least for me right now, it's definitely teaching me more about logistics and inventory. It also makes you think about coordination in all of your space planning. Yes, we're only doing the architecture or the interior architecture, but how do we plan for future flex, right? For furniture or, and at the same time, when you coordinate with your furniture vendor, I feel like that's in some way logistics.
Yeah. There's a lot of logistics behind the
Oh,
scenes
I
in
believe
design and furniture.
I tell everybody.
Apparently in jewelry.
And jewelry too. Yeah, like what lock? That kind of lock or this kind of lock, right? So that's what it's really teaching me right now, and it's giving me a whole nother appreciation for people who do logistics and coordination.
Yeah.
I've always respected coordinators. I lean on my coordinators. Yeah.
Well, it takes a village no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
So a good design doesn't happen without all the people behind it. And great furniture doesn't happen without a million
Absolutely.
people touching it along the way.
Absolutely.
So that's the same case
That's
for
why
everything.
I love you guys. I rely
thank you.
heavily on my reps.
Thank you. Well, one question I love to ask all my guests is, how are you, Charmaigne, uniquely making the world a better place?
Oh, good gosh. I try to just be kind. I think
You
that's
are.
it. Oh, thank you. You're going to make me cry. You know, the people who are closest to me know I've been through a lot. And, you know, is it kind? Are you being kind? With everything that's going on right now, I think we need it more than ever.
We need so
Yeah.
much kindness in the world.
And love. Like, let's just give love. It doesn't matter. Just give love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you came to the United States when you were young.
23.
Yeah, you came to the United States
That was
when
young.
you were young. And you've been through a lot. You've changed career directions. You've found passion in jewelry. You're amazing, Charmaigne.
Thank you.
I appreciate you sitting down with me. It's been fun.
Thank you for this opportunity. This has been great.
And I love this. I'm never going to forget that you made this for me.
Thank
From the
you.
Philippines.
Yes, they are seashells from the Philippines. I try
love
to
it.
source all the materials I use, if they're tropical inspired, that they have to come from the Philippines or Southeast Asia.
I love it. Thank you, my Filipina sister.
You're welcome, my Filipino sister.